Thank you, Jason. I'm just going to try something that the guys up there told me to do. Is that all right? Yeah. Just tell me you got a bit more visibility. Thank you so much, and thank you for not calling me a presenter again, Andrew. Because I'm not a presenter, I am an agent sharing my knowledge that I have. If I were a presenter, I'm not a very good presenter, because I see there's a couple of agents here that are back for the second and third time this week. Okay, thank you. So, as I mentioned, right, Lydia and myself have been agents since 2005. She became an agent 2 days before me, and then she lured me into the business. I realized later why it was. Sorry that you've heard this story before, because you've been here a few times. 2 days after she joined real estate, she told me I was in between businesses. I just sold a business and was looking at other options. And she said, no, come and join me. It made it sound so lekker. So I joined her. I said, well, let's look at it. I've got a tech background. Let's see what we can do back in 2005. And later on I realized why. Because she saw within 2 days all the facets that a real estate agent actually has to have and master, like you all know. So in the back of her head, she said, no, bring Andre in. He can do all the admin, all the paperwork, all the tech stuff, all the marketing, and she can do what she likes and what most agents like, and go network, belly to belly and face to face. So she locks me, every morning she locks me in my office, and then she lets me out now and then. So this has been a fantastic week, thank you. Anyway, so we were with one company, she was with a company, she'll tell you later. We were with one company, Remax, for 16 years. We don't shop around, and we were going nowhere. We were very happy. Because I follow a lot of people on social media, I'm always sort of trying to see what the trends are in the US, because they always tend to be a year ahead of us, etc. So I follow a lot of prominent agents, and around about 2020 I saw a lot of the big agents, even with big teams from companies like Keller Williams and Remax and Coldwell Banker in America, moving to this company called EXP. So quietly I went and looked at the model. They weren't in South Africa. Very often the American companies don't come to South Africa, but I just looked for interest sake, and I saw the whole model with the revenue sharing and all these things, and also the tech, obviously. And I knew if they ever came to South Africa, we would join. And lo and behold, they actually did at the end of that year. So then we joined EXP, and we've now been with EXP for 3.5 years. And we just embraced the whole model. Everything Andrew's spoken about, we are benefiting from that. So I'm going to be talking about technology coupled with AI. AI these days is the buzzword, but we can get very lost in AI. If you go onto the internet, onto Facebook now, it's just AI, right? Everything's just AI and artificial intelligence. And as agents, you don't know what to take and what to leave, and everybody wants to charge you $10 and $20 a month and all these types of things. So I'm going to approach it from, firstly, our EXP systems. We're going to run through them, but specifically focusing on the AI we have available in our EXP systems. Because when you've got a guy like Glenn Sanford, who started a cloud-based business in 2009, it's around about the same time that the first iPhone was launched. So when you've got a guy that does that and can actually create a successful business in the cloud, then you know, I mean, our tech is moving fast, and I think the other guys are going to battle to play catch up. So I'm going to take it from that point of view. Okay, that was us. As I mentioned, Lydia asked me to remove that slide. Sorry, Lydia. That's us in real life. That's why we do what we do. We've got 4 children. Again, the story I've told the whole week, and I often tell this story because we've got 4 children. I mean, on some days we've got 8 personalities. Other days we've got 12 personalities amongst a lot of them. And Lydia is just a master at handling our children. So for her, going out and speaking to buyers and sellers with different personalities is just a walk in the park, really. So thanks to our children, actually, we're also successful in business. Okay, since joining EXP, we were 16 years in the company, franchise-based company, and strangely enough, you know the people in your office, but you don't get to mingle too much with anybody else in the country, because even the franchises compete against themselves, because each franchise has a franchise holder. He needs to maximize profit. to pay for all the building structures, etc., and get something in his pocket. Anyway, so they don't really collaborate that much. Since being an EXP, which is a cloud-based business, we've met and got to know people personally, many more people countrywide than we ever thought possible. We have agents, I mean, Sharon and them here at Peter Maritzburg, we knew so well before we ever met them in person. And the same, we go to PE, we go to Joburg, we go anywhere, you meet people. So it's a very collaborative company to work for, even though you can only get your mind around it when you're really in it. Just for interest's sake, because this is what we're talking about today, when we flew here on Monday to Durban, Lydia grabbed all sorts of magazines from everywhere, as she does, before we get on the flight. And I never do, but while she was collecting hers, I was just looking at the rack, and I saw this. I don't know the magazine, but obviously that caught my eye. Tech trends for 2024. So, well, maybe I can have a look at that on the plane. And then it was very interesting, me coming here to speak about this topic, to see what this writer said the tech trends for 2024 were going to be at that stage. So I'm just going to run through it. I mean, he said the first trend, he was talking about 5 trends, 5 or 6. So the first trend, he said, was AI augmented creativity boom. And if you can read about it over there, this is AI that can help us in the creativity space. So just to create whatever, right? The second trend he talks about is the rise of augmented conversational user interfaces. That's now chatbots, etc., etc. I thought, oh, you're going to see in our EXP systems, we have that going for ourselves. Each agent can even create his own. So quite amazing. We really are with it. And the third one was the metaverse finds a new source of power. Glenn Sandvin's been working on our metaverse since 2009. Our spaces in the cloud, our offices and all that, you can see that today. And here he speaks about the metaverse being the new internet. The internet is basically going to be falling away. I mean, Facebook's been working on this metaverse for quite a while. They even call themselves Meta these days. And we've already got our own metaverse, which you're going to see. And then trend number 4 is talking about, one of the trends is companies will be taxed on carbon emissions and all this type of thing, so it's to be eco-friendly. And obviously we are very eco-friendly with a low carbon footprint. Why? Because we've got no offices. Our agents are not driving to and from the office, emitting gases, etc. So even that part of it, we're performing very well. And then the last one, unfortunately, had to do with banking systems and payments, and so I couldn't fit us in there. But it was very impressive for me. Okay, so when we join EXP, every single agent gets a dashboard. So all the systems that you have access to are accessible right there. We call it our Okta dashboard. So from there you can access anything that you need to run your business. So I'm going to be running through some of these, but concentrating mainly on where the AI fits in to make our lives easier, which sets us apart very often from some of the other major agencies. So I'll start off with a rep system. This is what we call the real estate platform. It's just EXP's own listing system really. So pretty much the same as you would have at any other company. You go and load your listings there, etc., etc. It's just a much more powerful system, as you'll see later, because it keeps track of the revenue share and the shares and all that type of thing as well. But from an agent's point of view, when you join, I mean, you're going to use that to list your properties, to feed them through to Property 24, private property, and the likes. So that would be a dashboard that all your properties. We're not going to go into that. We all know how to list the property. I'm going to be looking at a little bit of the AI within this. So once you've listed a property, that system will then make AI suggestions. So it's got AI analyzing your listing and making suggestions to make it more search engine friendly, etc., so that it will be more visible on the internet. So I'm not going to run through there. Just here for an example, you will see you've loaded up images, and you've simply loaded up images. So the system will actually go, and this is AI for you, go and look at the image and say, but that is a bathroom, that is a bedroom, that is a kitchen, that is a living room. It's making the suggestions. Why don't you label them as such? It'll make it more search engine optimization friendly. So you can then accept it or reject it. Okay, it's things like that. There's quite a couple of that. Then you've got image enhancement. So very often, obviously, we use, as agents, use professional photographers. So generally, we don't have to edit images, etc., etc. But we do all know every now and then, maybe you get an open mandate or whatever the case may be, and you do actually have to run in and snap a couple of pictures with your cell phone. Now you don't want that looking bad on the internet, because that's going to be look bad. Firstly, it's not going to put the property in its best light. And secondly, any sellers that are looking at it, maybe thinking of using you, will also not like marketing you do and they won't use you. So how do we, I mean, unless you've got very fancy Photoshop software and you're actually a master at it, how do you at least get the images to look decent if they just came from your cell phone? So within our rep system, we have image enhancement tools that we can use if necessary. So for instance, those are just images I loaded up for a property. Down here you could do photo enhancement. It'll just lighten and brighten and just automatically sort of put the best foot forward in general. But then you could also replace the sky if it was a rainy day or something like that, and even repair grass if the grass is a bit dead, like in Cape Town in summer. So as an example, so here of those, and I can choose for that one I want that done, for that one I want both done, etc. Then AI will go and improve those photos. Here are just 2 photos I just took, and I did the necessary improvements on them, and then they at least look a lot better than they did. So that was a very rainy day, just looks a bit lighter and brighter. That was that's a drone photograph I got from a drone photographer, but even there, because it was sort of dark and gloomy, you got it much better. That's the type of tools we have available in Rep. Now you get agents microsites. So every agent in EXP gets a microsite, but we get 2 different types of microsites. So a microsite is simply, I mean, let's say Lydia's microsite. You can send that link to any client. When he goes there, obviously he can read Lydia's biography, etc., etc., and then he can look at all Lydia's properties. Okay, this functionality, there's nothing really rocket science about that. But then the other type of microsite that you have, it's just a different link. So it basically takes you to EXP South Africa's website, where all EXP South Africa's listings are for all the agents. But because it's Lydia's microsite, if you were to take one of those listings and send it anywhere, it would be branded with her details. So as an example, why would you want that? So maybe I'm looking for a property for a client, and I haven't got one myself. So I go and look at EXP's website in Durbanville or wherever in the price range we're looking for, and I see one of our other agents maybe have one. Then I can contact that agent and find out have they opened it up yet, are they willing to collaborate, maybe share commission. If they are, then I can send the listing straight off EXP South Africa's website to my client, but it will be branded in our name. So there's an example. Here is one of, let's say I was looking for a property in, this is in Belgium, and this is Liz Nanel, one of our very good colleagues' property. Phone her up. She says she's willing to share, and it's fine. We can do a split, whatever split we agree on. So we just send it in Lydia's microsite, and it's the same property exactly. It's even got the same reference number, but it's just a different, slightly different link, and then you can send that to your customer. So it's a fantastic tool. It's just very, very handy, and we use it a lot. Right. Also within this whole rep system, where it feeds through to Property 24 and all those things, your properties, all your listings automatically also get fed through to list globally. So it's basically mainly a network of a global network of websites that go under the proper star banner in every single country. So it gets fed through there automatically. And within Rep, you can actually log into your List Globally account, and all your listings will be sitting there, the same listings you've got in Rep. And you can have a look what they're going to look like in any country. So for instance, here is the original listing as it fed through from Rep. Down there is just a list, as long as you're on, of different languages that it's being displayed in, depending on which country it's being displayed. So you can also then have a look. Actually, you can choose any of the languages and see what it looks like, if it makes sense to you. If you were German and you actually wanted to change some of the German wording, you could also edit it here. There again, in that specific system, you've also got all sorts of AI suggestions. It'll look at your listing description, look at images, and make suggestions based on those countries' search criteria to make it more visible there. Then the nice thing is now, obviously, maybe someone is sitting in Germany or in France and he's planning to come to South Africa, and he finds your property on one of those networks. So they send you inquiries. These are very real inquiries that we have been getting. So this is, when I'm in list globally and I have a look at it, it's going to be like, this is a German inquiry. So if you understand German, that would be great, but I don't. But when we just go into rep and we will have it translated. So now you know what the guy's asking for, right? I'd like to know the address of the property. Can you give it to me? Now you can start communicating back and forth and have it translated, and you can communicate with this client, and they're in their language and you're in your language. Okay. Within this rep system, I just want to show you, just for transparency and the power of the system. And so once you've sold the property, you would mark it as sold. Now you're obviously going to fill in all the details. It will ask you all the necessary questions. You know, how much did you sell it for? What was the commission? Were there splits with other agents, etc., etc. And so it feeds you through the process. You also upload a couple of documents like the OTP and so on into the cloud. And then when you finish, it spits out your whole commission sheet right there that you know you're going to be paid eventually when it registers. And it's all transparent, and there's never ever any hidden costs. So here's an example, just a very simple example. So this is after loading it. Now, I mean, it's just after we sold it, I know what I'm going to get in my pocket. There are no hidden costs. So pre-cap, I mean, that's just to show that is the full commission. EXP South Africa takes 25%, EXP International takes 4%, and the agent gets 71%, exactly as Andrew explained just now. Post-cap, this is now pre-cap, so this is at those percentages, and as Andrew explained, if you reach a certain level in every single year, you would cap. So post-cap, you would then get 0% goes to EXP South Africa. That's the main difference. 4% still goes to international, but the agent sits with 96%. There's no further hidden deductions. I know at the bottom here you will see a small deduction of 4224, but that is a voluntary deduction, so that doesn't have to be there. We as agents, we get the option to, or you choose when you sign up. So we chose to do this, is they will take 5% of your net commission, EXP, if you choose to, and they will go and buy stocks, shares in EXP on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange on the day at a 5% discount for you. So we chose to do that. It's a bit of a pension building up. That's apart from the EXP shares that we get given for certain production levels, as Andrew was also explaining. Okay, EXP's iBid platform. This is the most amazing tool, and when you look at it at face value, it sounds like an auction platform, which is definitely not. It is a bidding platform where you can get buyers to enter into a bidding process for a property, but you can also use it as a standalone, just an offer management, digital offer management program, which I'm going to explain to you. So it makes your life much, much easier and much less scope for error. And I'm going to show you how that works. So firstly, okay, there's a lot of advantages for buyers and sellers. We're not going to go into that. I just want to show you how the technology works. So again, from your rep system, any specific listing, if you want to make use of this system, then you just simply click the button and send the offer to the hub. Okay. What's going to happen there is you're going to provide details of this property, and it'll create a template OTP based on everything you tell it to do. And then the buyer will be able to do the same. And I'm going to go through that process just very quickly, just so you can see the power behind this technology. So you click that button, say I want to take it through, right? So now you just quickly choose which one of the types of systems it's going to be. Is it going to be a bidding platform, which you'll keep it open for a certain time and anybody can bid. They'll be informed if there's a higher bid, then they can bid higher again, etc. And then it creates the OTPs. Or for instance, if you want to just use it as a digital offer, just to make your life easier. A very good example of what you could use either of these for that is maybe you've got a hot property and you have a show house and you've got 5 people that want to make offers. Now you know how that works. You've got on Sunday night already 3 of them want to see you, and this one can't make it at 8, he can make it at 9, but the other one can also only make it at 9, and you end up running around back and forth trying to write offers for different people, etc., etc. So with this type of system, you can simply invite them and you simply send them a link because you set up the whole OTP in this digital offer, in this digital space. So you just select what type you're doing, We're not going to go into those details. So a lot of the information will be pulled through from there for the property. But then you make sure it's all correct, earth numbers, etc., as you usually would. All the seller's details you would put in there exactly, so that it's going to draw up the OTP. You would upload any documents you want to have attached to the OTP that a buyer must take note of and acknowledge receipt of, such as the property condition report. Maybe you've got a separate fixtures and fittings list as an annexure. You can upload that there. And then you just, again, you're going to choose what type of system. It's just an offer platform, so it's just if somebody wants to make an offer, you'll send them a link, or do you want it to be a bidding platform? Okay, so now what happens is it's uploaded there and it's got all the details that you've submitted. So it's a template OTP for that property. Any special conditions that you wanted will also be in there. You would have typed them in the system. So you invite a buyer, he gets an email, and he has to click on the link, and now he's going to go and put his details in there of what he's willing to offer and what the terms and conditions are from his side. Obviously, you can send this to him and he can do it on his own, or you could send this to him and run through it on the phone with him, or you could even sit with him and do it. But the point is, it's going to be typed in and it's going to create a digital offer. So he gets that. It's pretty easy. I mean, he gets a couple of steps he's got to go through. Firstly, all his personal information, ID numbers, etc. If he has to add more buyers, he does that. His wife or spouse or partner or a business partner. So it's his personal details. Then we go to the property documents. These are the ones that you uploaded. So he gets to download those documents and he has to acknowledge that he's read them. Then it goes further. Now this is where he's really the terms of his offer come in. So he'll be asked, what is the purchase price? How much will be cash? Is the cash available? How much, is there a bond? How much bond do you need? Do you need to sell your property? If so, obviously, what's the address and the earth number? Because all that's going to come into the OTP. And then any other conditions, he gets a chance, and that will also be coming under special clauses. So, I mean, in this case, for instance, I said I was the fictitious buyer, and I said I also want approved building plans to be provided. So a clause to that effect will be included in the OTP. Then he uploads his documents, which you would have specified what you want from him at this stage, if anything, or do you want to collect it later, like IDs, etc. And then it creates the OTP. Complete OTP, there we go, digital, right? So whether, no matter, it doesn't have to be a bidding system. You can just use it to create your OTPs, and they'll be perfect and they'll be correct. So it creates an OTP. I know it's a digital OTP, but he signs it digitally. And it's actually, there's even two-step verification. He has to enter a PIN from his cell phone, etc. And we know that if it's going to be legal later on, it will have to be signed in meeting. But that's fine, we get to that. So he gets a full OTP. He gets a confirmation with the OTP attached. If it's a bidding system, he will get further notifications, such as he gets a notification that there's been another offer that's higher than his. He then gets the chance to up his offer, which he doesn't have to do. He can still stand with his offer, because all offers will be presented to the seller. And so everybody gets informed as the process goes along until it's finished, whether his offer was now completed. This one was unsuccessful, so somebody else's was. But still, if it's a bidding system, even though you told your offer was unsuccessful, basically you're sort of second in line and you'll present all offers to the seller. Right, so if there is a successful offer and that your seller is willing to accept, then you simply go ahead and get everybody's red signatures. But you've got a perfect OTP. It makes our life a lot easier. Okay, carrying on. Agencies I'm going to run through. This is just the system which we've got at our fingertips where you can download any documents you need. Like OTPs, mandates, ticket documents, and you know no matter where you are, you can download these documents and they'll be correct and they'll be up to date. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. OTPs, sticker documents, that type of thing. Company documents, if you need the company's FFC, you don't have to wonder who's going to give it to you. You can go and download it off there. Logos, if you've got somebody designing something for you and you need all the different logos, you can draw down here and get them and download them. And then even downloadable templates like for sale boards, different options you can download and then have them personalized for yourself. But the marketing center, this is very impressive and it makes our life a lot easier as well, because we're not all designers. So this is like Canva for EXP. So we all know Canva, and if you're good at designing in Canva, it's a very handy tool. This is just making it easy for us as agents. works pretty much on the same system, but you've just got nice templates you can choose from, and they'll be personalized for yourself. So you're going to there, lots and lots of templates and types of, we're not going to go too much into this, but you can go in there, just like in Canva. If you know Canva, if you don't, you'll get a template, choose a template, but then you can change anything in there. So whenever there's a photo, you can click and just take another photo from your PC and put it in there. You can change the wording, etc., etc. What is obviously nice is because you logged in from your system, is it will already all be branded in your name with all your details, and you can just replace photos, change text if you want. But then it goes a step further. Okay, lots of more, all sorts of social media templates you can drill in there, and you can find something to brand yourself personally all the time. Just personal branding, educational stuff. Right, listing presentations, you go in there, you've got beautiful professional listing presentations you can download in PowerPoint, 20 to 30 pages, which you can then obviously be branded in your name, but you can change the wording if you want, and you can delete slides or add slides. Makes your life a lot easier. In that sense, business cards as well, many templates to choose from, letters and letterheads, and lots of things. Although it says letters, I mean, you could use these for emails as well. Then we got a single property website that you can create for any one of your properties. So I know you wonder, why would you want a single property website? Any property that you've listed on Rep, you could send someone the link to, right? I mean, either on Property 24 or even on EXP South Africa. But it's very handy to have this single property website. Firstly, when you're talking to your seller and during your listing presentation, you can tell him he gets his own unique link. They find that quite attractive, and they can send it to their friends, etc. But apart from that, to send it to a buyer, there are a lot of advantages. Because if you send a buyer to Property 24 or even to EXP South Africa, there's a lot of distraction, right? I mean, immediately they think, oh, here's another property, or let's go there and see what's available. Where if you send this to a buyer, he thinks you are thinking of him for this specific property, and he's focused, and only that property is what's in front of him. So it's a full website just for one property, where you've got the menu. I mean, you click on there and you get about and the features and the gallery, and then they can contact you if they want to go and view it. Taking a step further, any property that you have listed in Rep, you can easily create a whole array of marketing material very, very easily. So you simply go into this marketing center with your Rep listing number, which is just the listing number as it is on EXP South Africa. And when you put that in there, it'll take all the details of that specific property and it will create firstly the single property website, and then a whole array of brochures and social media marketing, etc. So already there, it pulls in all the details. You can still edit it. You can still change the main photo or change some of the wording, but it has pulled that all in from your Rep system as you uploaded it. So a very, very handy marketing tool that we have. Now, social media marketing. For that I need a sip of water. I'm very passionate about social media marketing. Obviously, organic social media marketing, which you do on your own, that's great. On your own Facebook page or on your personal profile, including Instagram, etc. It's all great, but it will always have limited reach. It will only be your followers or your friends, etc. that see those, and not even all of them see it, because Facebook picks up when you're trying to basically advertise something that's for sale. And Facebook and Instagram, they are already a pay for play. They have to make money, and they're not making money off the normal social side, so they've got to show ads. Right, so looking at social media paid ads. Now, I've been doing this for quite a number of years. I've been using paid ads. It started off only on Facebook, then it became Meta, and they incorporated Instagram, so it's a broad spectrum of ads you can place. But the last 2 years especially, we've had extreme success, specifically advertising our listings on paid marketing on Facebook. I'm going to explain why, but I mean, Lydia will attest to this, that when we look at our statistics for the last 2 years, more than 50% of our sales have come from here. They're sitting on Property 24 and private property, but they die a slow death very often, and yet we manage to get buyers by using this and using it correctly. That's the big thing. You can waste a lot of money as well. So the problem with, okay, well, let's first say, why is it effective? If I market a property in a certain area, I'll use an example just so that my head is focused. Where we live, if I market a property in, let's say, Sohnstraat, it's a suburb, for 4.5 million rand, who's going to be seeing that property when it goes to Property 24 and private property? A buyer who is going onto the website, looking in Sohnstraat in that price range, will see that property. If that buyer sets up alerts to get emails, he will probably set up alerts for certain areas at certain price ranges. But the buyer who's next door, he thinks wants to buy in Amanda Glen. He doesn't think he wants to buy in Sohnstraat for various reasons. Maybe he doesn't even know Sohnstraat exists because his friend told him he lives in Amanda Glen and that's where he must buy. Otherwise, he wants to buy in Amanda Glen because it's very close to the school his child is going to. So he doesn't think he wants to be in Sohnstraat. So he's not seeing the properties that you are actually advertising. And yet, if you were to show him that property, there's a good chance that he might be interested in it and go and say, this looks like good value for money. I haven't seen this property. And if you look at it, it's only 5 minutes from the school or whatever. So this is the power of social media paid marketing. You can reach a much broader audience. I always call it basically you go and fetch buyers that Property 24 cannot fetch. You can even fetch buyers who are not looking on Property 24 at all because they just haven't started their property search yet. Although they've had many conversations around the dinner table that, oh, we must get it started. And now you're showing them properties in Facebook. The problem with this is it's very technical. You go into Meta's back-end service and the business end of things, and you've got to go and create ads. There's a myriad of technical little terms and things and all the geographic things, and you're creating campaigns and ads and ad sets, and you can go horribly wrong and you can waste a lot of money, definitely. So you've got to know what you're doing. It's not impossible to learn, but it's not all that easy. So enter flow marketing, which we have access to from our Okta dashboard. This is basically a company that makes Facebook marketing easy, specifically for estate agents. So they have mastered the art of all those little fine choices that you could make in the back end of Facebook and where you could go wrong. They have mastered the art of doing that specifically for estate agents who are trying to attract people interested in properties. So I'll demonstrate it to you just so you get an idea. So again, in our Okta dashboard, we've got a tile. You click in there, and you immediately go into your flow marketing profile. Now, these people obviously have to make money, so they do charge a subscription. Any agent can actually use them, and they charge a monthly subscription. But that's all included in our 900 Rand per month with EXP. They've negotiated the deal, so we don't pay a subscription ourselves. Quite obviously, when you do place the ad, you would have to pay for ad spend, because that is what Facebook charges. Okay, but make it very easy. They've got different types of ads you can place. They call it a flow brand ad. That's a sort of a generic type of ad that you would place for yourself. It just keeps on rolling out. It's more possibly aimed at actually attracting seller leads. So just marketing yourself on a consistent basis for X amount of Rand a month or whatever. In your farming area so that you're reaching the right people and they keep consistently seeing you and you remain top of mind. I'm going to concentrate specifically on the flow fuel, which is now aimed at marketing your properties. So this is what we've been talking about, going to fetch buyers from different places. So if you click on that, you want to start a flow fuel ad. Because this is your profile within flow marketing, there are all your listings. Same listings that you uploaded in Rep. All available there, so you simply choose which one you're going to be marketing. Then you go to the next screen. Those of you who use Facebook and Instagram, that's pretty much what a sponsored ad looks like. So as you're going through your feed, you see your friend's stuff, and then every now and then you see something else, that's a sponsored ad. So it makes it easy. It's going to put in that property's details and photos, and it starts with a generic thing, and anything that you see there which was going to appear on Facebook on the ads, you can change here. So you can still customize it so that you're happy with it. If you don't like the photo that was used for that property, you can simply click at the bottom there and it'll just bring up that property's photos, and you quickly say, oh, that's the one I want to use. And when you're happy with it, what the ad looks like, you carry on. So here you can choose This is where it gets clever for fetching buyers, right? So at the bottom you can't even see here, but flow marketing will take care of the nitty-gritties. I want to target people who are showing buyer interests, so they know. I mean, everything gets tracked these days. So the algorithms will target people who are busy looking at properties, who have recently looked at properties. But you get to choose, firstly, the age group of the people. That's quite important. I mean, if you just choose a broad age group and you're advertising a 5 million rand property, you don't want to advertise it to 18-year-olds because you'll be wasting money. So you choose your age group, and then you go to the geo-targeting. This is the areas you want to target it in. So just a simple example, this is what I was talking about. So this property is in Woodbridge Island. So I'm going to market it there. So you get to choose Woodbridge Island plus the radius. I'm going to market it there anyway, so anybody who's showing interests in that area would see it. But for instance, in this case, I say, well, okay, now where would a buyer possibly come from that might buy in Woodbridge Island, but he's not looking there for some reason. So I say, well, similar buyers buy in Seapoint. So now I'm going to show this ad to buyers who are showing interest in buying property in Seapoint. So now I'm tapping into a different market, but when they see this, they say, Woodbridge Island, where's that? Oh, I've heard of that, and they might be interested in that buy, and it happens a lot. So that's the power of this. Further on, it's just a question of now you choose how much you want to spend on the ad and for how long it must run, etc. This is the part that Facebook charges. So you would have paid that anyway if you were in the Facebook back-end system, and then it runs for that amount of time. Then in people's feeds, whether it's on their cell phones or in their ad gets shown. Another nice feature with this whole system is when they do click for more info, they will be taken back to Flow where there's a full-on property page for that property with all the photos so they can see the full details, etc., etc., and then they can contact you for more details. Okay, then obviously within the system you've got your analytics, you can see all your ads, you can drill down, you can see how many people have viewed them, how much engagement there was, and so on and so forth. But we've been using this very successfully, even prior to Flow, and now it's really made easy, and thanks to Andrew and the team, they're making it easy for us to access and paying our subscriptions. Okay. Home Hunter. Now, when you're speaking of Glenn Sanford and the likes, you must expect them to be coming up with very, very new and innovative ideas all the time. So you want to talk about, I'm just going to go into the system, because this is on my Okta. At the moment, it's not on every EXP agent's Okta because it's in the testing phase. I was lucky enough to be included in that testing phase. The basis of it is, let me just go to the next slide. Home Hunter is now a browser extension, which we as EXP agents will be getting, and I'm already busy testing, which you can give to any of your buyers. For a start, you can give it to anybody. You send them an invitation link. Now, a browser extension is, a browser is like Google Chrome, right? Where you go into Google Chrome and you're surfing the internet. The browser extension, you get many different browser extensions. They just add functionality to your browser, specific functionality. Now, if you send someone their Home Hunter browser extension, it'll be a personalized link that sort of connects to you. Then he installs that browser extension on his, let's say, on his Chrome browser, and he's automatically connected to you. He's now given permission that you almost his agent. How it works, so you send him an invitation, and with your personalized link, he then goes and installs the browser. Now, whenever he is browsing any property portal, such as Property 24, but no matter which property portal, the minute he clicks on any specific property in any one of those portals, he gets a little Home Hunter. This is the browser extension pop-up. Now he gets extra functionality. So if he likes that property once he's looked at it, he can save it. Then later, no matter which portal he saved from, for instance, Private Property or Property 24 or SA Home Traders or whatever, no matter which portal he was on, now he's got all his properties in one place. So this is a very handy tool for the buyers. They're going to love it. But now the next part of it, this is the clever part. See, he's also got a tab down there called Suggestions, Suggested Properties. Very much in the infant stage at the moment here. So what this does, pretty much like Flow Marketing does in a way, it goes and looks, it sees where he's looking at properties, And Home Hunter will go and search for similar properties, maybe in slightly adjacent areas, in sort of similar price ranges, but adjacent price ranges as well. But it will only show properties on EXP South Africa's website in this suggested property box. So any properties that are shown here are pulling buyers, wherever they were. They might have looked at one property with you and installed the browser. Now they're looking at other properties through other agents, but they're being drawn back automatically every now and then to these suggested properties. And apart from that, they always have access to you. So you sort of front and center the whole time, wherever they're going, they keep seeing you, even though you only show them one property. And they suddenly start establishing a relationship with you. So they might see a property and ask you about the area or whatever it is. And then you as the agent, because he used your link and basically gave permission for you to do this, you have a dashboard that you log into. Now in this case, I was the agent. Lydia is just my dummy buyer. So she installed it on her laptop. So everything that Lydia was now, what you saw there was Lydia as a buyer searching for properties and saving properties. Now me as the agent, when I drill in here, I've got Lydia's detail. I can see she registered, and then I can go and look at what properties she's been looking at, which is very handy. So I can see also if her interests start changing, because as we know, buyers are liars. So today they tell you they're looking for 1 to 1.2 million rand, and it's you looking for properties in that. And you just go and have a look here and you see they've changed completely. They've moved from the Sonsstraal area, they're now looking in Sonsstraal Heights over there. And because they came from Joburg, now they realize they can't get what they want for that price. Now they're looking in the 1.5 to 2 million range. That's it. I mean, now you've got that information, so you can start helping them. So this is a powerful system aimed at pulling buyers into EXP, basically, no matter where they're searching. And it's a powerful tool for us as agents. Makes our life, firstly, a lot easier, but it will be generating a lot more business for us. Okay, workplace. This is our collaboration platform. This is where you can contact any of the 90,000 agents worldwide in EXP. So workplace is a system. We are going to be phasing it out because Facebook will be phasing it out. But we've already got the replacement system busy being lined up. It's going to be the same functionality. But workplace is a system that is created by Facebook. So it looks like Facebook. I say it tastes like Facebook, but it's closed. So they created, it looks like Facebook, it functions like Facebook, but it's a closed community. So they sell this to companies who want that type of collaboration system. And EXP International has the largest workplace account in the world. So how that works, as I said, basically, okay, collaboration, you've got 90,000 agents on there. You could, just like, it looks like Facebook, you have a feed, you could roll around there. You can go and create groups, if you want to create groups of similar-minded agents or agents in a geographical area and invite them to it, etc. So you can start collaborating. You can go and look for groups that are already created and join them, just as you would on Facebook. You can chat to people, you can go and search for people. I can go and search for Glenn Sanford on here, and then because this is workplace, you've also got work chat, which is like Facebook's Messenger. I can send any agents in the world from EXP a message, and we can start chatting as well. The collaboration is immense. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 practical examples that we have had major success using this. And we have really found, I come from another agency, and collaboration is not that great. It's difficult because franchises compete with each other. So generally where we were, I didn't really know agents in other areas. And I wouldn't know who the good agents are. And if I would have, I'm going to give you an example. So just this block of flats, for instance. It's a complete block of 30 flats close to us. Got given to 6 agencies to market. So we knew we had to jump quickly. So obviously you quickly splash it on your websites and it goes to Property 24, but I mean, what are the chances? So we went and there is a group that has already been created, EXP South Africa referrals. So any EXP South Africa agent that wants to can join that group. So there's hundreds of agents on that group. We put it on there and we said, let's do it. You know, if you've got buyers, we'll do it. Let's just make it happen. That was the Monday. By the Thursday, we had a viewing arranged here because we knew we had to jump quickly. We had a viewing arranged, and we had 4 potential buyers referred. So the agents started contacting us because a guy in Joburg has got an investor that he knows he's always looking for, for good investments. And there's actually people, I didn't even know this because I don't deal in this space. There's actually people that are always looking for complete blocks of flats. That's the type of investment they want. Anyway, we had 4 buyers lined up, pre-qualified. They were always cash buyers in this type of thing. And they looked at the thing, and we got 3 offers, 3 good market-related offers. It hasn't sold because the seller's too greedy, but the offers were spot on. But nevertheless, we were the only ones that had any offers up to now, and still are getting interest in the property, and none of the other agencies have ever had a buyer at all. That's the power of collaboration. In our previous company, we wouldn't have known who to contact, because who do you contact? So even with an EXP, I wouldn't know which agent is going to have a buyer, but we've got the systems to be able to connect. Just to show you, because you can create groups, so Stuart, who's our national trainer, he goes and creates a group called the Coaching and Training Group, so it's always very handy. You join that group, now you can go and look at any single stage. He does live training every day of the week, basically, on different topics. If you missed that, you could go here, you could go and have a look at the recording. If he was using files, like Excel files, while he was doing a presentation, he would upload it into the files thing, you just download it, so while you're watching the recording, you can put it on the file as well. It's a powerful collaboration platform. The other day, one of our clients phoned Lydia and said one of her friends who lives in Miami, Afrikaans person, is coming back to South Africa, he's got a property to sell for $1 million. Nice, $1 million, and that's just sort of average for that area he's in. And he's battling with the agents there. He says it's in Florida, and I don't know, they're very Spanish, most agents, and he isn't having any success. So on here we went and we looked for any Florida groups, specifically Fort Lauderdale, and she put out the word, got a lot of influx. Obviously everybody wants the business, and there's a lot of agents, the EXP agents. But now they start sending you their resumes and their websites and things, and now you can start choosing, but there you go. Referral out to them. If that property sells $1 million, we'll get a 30% referral commission they offered us. So again, collaboration. And then within Workplace, as with many of our EXP platforms, we have AI bots that support us. So in Workplace, we've got Luna, that's her name, and she is our EXP bot. So in other words, they feed Luna with all information related to EXP. Anything you could think of that you have to ask about EXP or the systems is fed into Luna. So if you go, before you have to worry to find support staff and ask them the questions, you can go to Luna and ask Luna the questions. So the top question was just a thing about frontline qualifying agents, which if you're not an EXP agent, you won't know what that means, but I've got a detailed answer. Just as a very simple example, I asked where can I find logos for marketing EXP in South Africa, and it told me exactly where to go. The marketing center tells me, which is where we were just now. I can go and find logos there. If I don't come right, it'll give me an email address and who I must contact if I need further information. So this is all at your fingertips. Something if you're at 10 o'clock at night and you want some information, you'll most likely find it, and Luna will help you. Okay, now as we were talking about our metaverse. So as Andrew explained, we don't have physical offices. That is where the major cost savings comes, where other agencies have national offices and international offices and then franchise offices, and there's just a ton of cash that has to go into all that to maintain these offices and the support staff and everything. And the agent has to fund that. Okay, so the main reason we have so much more cash within EXP to disperse amongst the agents for various ways like revenue share and shares on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange is because we have this cloud-based world. And it also looks very airy-fairy the first time you see it, until you've actually been in there and experienced the functionality. It's the most fantastic thing, and this is what Glenn Sanford envisaged in 2009 and started building. So you've got a company. I'll quickly just play this and we'll go on. If you go into South Africa's part of the world, you'll be greeted by Bongi. She's a lovely, lovely lady. I'll play a video, it just gives you a little bit of an idea.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, thank you. I am just showing a couple of agents around, and I'm going to take you into the offices as well.
Oh, perfect. Nice.
You have a wonderful day.
You too. Have fun. Bye.
Thank you. So, this is South Africa's offices. Now from there you could go to various places, auditoriums, the actual offices that I'm going to speak to that right now. But the functionality and having all this available will blow your mind once you're in there. So for instance, I mean, this is now once I'm actually in the office section. So every one of our 17 leadership team have an office there. I can just make an appointment, go and see them, or during the day they'll usually be there available if they're not busy with someone else. So everybody has an office. There's Andrew's office. You can pop in there. Andrew's always available for coffee, virtual coffee. And next to him is Sia, our marketing guy. Anyway, so you've got all the offices. Our specific transaction specialist who works with our transactions is Zayan. If I mess up a transaction for some reason, you saw just now when the commission sheet comes up right at the end of me loading my transaction and I say, oh, I did something wrong. But that's a point of no return, can't go back. So I just go and see Zayan and she'll have a look with me and she'll tell me, why don't you quickly share your screen over here. On the other wall, she'll share her screen and you just zoom in from the one to the other and there's the problem, that's fine, I'll fix it this side quickly. It's quite amazing and that's for any sort of support you have, and you've got all this functionality. If you wanted to have a meeting with people, maybe you've got a team members, or you just want to meet with a couple of other agents to discuss a couple of ideas, maybe area agents, etc. You can go to the boardroom, same type of thing you can set up. Then we've got auditoriums like this, where training takes place firstly. You can attend training all over the world on a number of topics. There's a calendar with daily, I mean you can go to Hong Kong or anywhere and you can attend social media marketing training or whatever's on at the time. But the nice thing about this, it's not messy like Google meetings are messy. If you had to run a meeting like we run twice a month in here, and meetings are not compulsory by the way, obviously, we're all independent contractors. You do not have to attend meetings, but we do. When you get in there, if it was a Google Meet, it's messy because they've got a whole lot of things they want to discuss. And our marketing guy is going to say something, and Andrew's going to talk about something, and Harvey, the operational director, maybe the transaction people have all got things they want to share with you, or new technology that's coming up, etc. On a Google Meet, you've got one trying to share their screen, and everybody's sitting and waiting. When they've finished eventually figuring it out, then they've got to remove theirs, and the next guy's got to share his screen. It's quite a mess. With this, these guys go in, our management team go in before the time, they set up screens as many as they want. So here would be Harvey's screen, that's what he's going to talk about there. And as the meeting progresses, it goes efficiently. They say, right, to everybody who's attending, zoom in on screen 1. Right, there goes Harvey, he's telling us what he wants to tell us. Zoom in on screen 2, there goes Andrew. As with the Google Meet, you still have chat boxes and functionalities where people can comment and so on and so on. Fantastic, efficient technology. Now what's nice about this, of course, I just must mention, all this technology was created by a company called Verbella. So in the start, obviously, Glenn Sanford was looking for someone who could create this type of setup for him. He found a company called Verbella. He worked together with them. They got it created until he was happy, but then he knew he's creating a major agency, and he cannot have his agency dependent on another company like Verbella. So he bought Verbella. So Verbella is wholly owned by EXP. They sell their technology to other companies. Lots of universities use it, etc. But they will not sell to other real estate companies, obviously. Okay, but exactly like you saw there, every single one of us EXP agents can create our own virtual offices, virtual space, whatever you want to do. And this is the metaverse. Facebook is creating a metaverse. You saw on the tech articles I was there, the metaverse futures, this is what's coming. And it's coming faster than we think. In fact, it's actually here. Now, while Facebook is creating a metaverse, Glenn Sanford already had a metaverse for many, many years, as you saw there. And now we each of us agents can create their own space to suit you, and you can invite your clients in there. If you've got a team, you can invite there. You can meet with agents, whatever. And as I said, it might sound airy-fairy, but the functionality within there, you bring a buyer in there, you set it up the way you want it set up. You can take him from start to finish, through listings, through looking at documentation, through doing whatever is necessary, and the same with the seller. Just depends how you set up your space. I'm going to show you an example. Okay, this is just When you set up your space, you've got templates, we call them environments. So you could have a simple, I set up a very simple sort of one-room office environment so people don't get lost. If you have a large team, you could set up, that's exactly like the South African offices that we were in just now. You could set that up. Each team member can have an office where they can bring people to. You can have classroom type setup. There's a myriad of environments, outdoor environments and whatever, auditoriums. You set up whatever you want to do, what suits you. This is our space. I'm going to be explaining a lot of the things that you see there. Obviously, we set it up for us. You would set yours up differently. When you start using this, you don't have to use this. So I've got videos on the walls. I'll show you how we can work with listings in this space. Any of your bond brokers, etc. You could link to that. Make sure you can just show people the full range of services that you can offer within this type of space. Documents on the wall. I'm just going to drill down into that a little bit so that you understand the functionality and where we are already with this. Okay, so in there you would have seen various things. We call these assets. So when you're in there, you can fill this place with assets. And there's hundreds. I'm only going to probably show you 6. So one of the handiest ones, obviously, no matter who you're meeting, is always to have that. You could, whoever you're seeing, you could share your screen. You could even just share your screen and show a video on there from YouTube. You could do anything. So that's a very handy type of asset. But then, other than that, you could you saw, like I do educational videos for our clients and sellers. So, and I put them on YouTube. So I just put them in here as well. So I can send a client here. It's just a link on the internet. It just goes into the internet, and he can browse around himself if I so wish. You could set it up with a password so people can't just go in there. Otherwise, I'll meet them in there and go through all these type of things with them. So, okay, I do a lot of videos. You can put documents up there, PDF documents, mandates, OTPs. You zoom in, you flick through the pages with a person in this space with you and do the explanations. Listings, you could do however you want. You could be meeting someone here and you can make that click through to your website or to the single property website or to EXP South Africa and look at it there with them. Or you could bring photos in here and look here with them, or a virtual tour link. So you can be in this space with your clients looking at these various things and discussing them. Now, obviously lots of other things, as I said, all our third-party providers, we can link into that. We'll get a bit more into that as well. I want to just show you fantastic technology. This is fairly recently brought into our EXP world by Gabe and the team. They're fantastic people. So as I showed you, I mean, you can do various things for the listing. So let's say now you've got a buyer and you've shown them a couple of listings in there, however you chose to do it, and they're really, really interested that they come from another country or from another city. Now they really, really like this property that you showed them. Now within this space, with this person here, you're busy talking to them, you're showing them the whole property, they're really interested and they probably want to come and have a look, but it's going to cost them a flight ticket, etc. So they might want to make an offer subject to viewing and then come down. But now you have the option to just take it a little step further and convince them a little bit more and put them more at ease. So you can bring a street view, a Google Street View, which you could usually go to, but now you can bring it into your space and you can walk in that street view with your client, discussing the area, etc. So I just made a little video again, just bear with me. So you click on that street view, which I've set up now for a specific property. And there I am with a client who's now Lydia. This is just a demo. So we're going through the street view, clicking as you would with the street view, but we're there together. We're there together, we're busy chatting and showing her. And she says, but what's this, what's that? And I can show her. So from there, I mean, you can show her the whole neighborhood, show them what the neighbors' houses looks like. There's parks, there's schools, go show her what the school looks like, or the shops, or whatever. Now they're really getting a feel for the area. And Google Street View is fantastic these days. You'll actually notice most places you go, you'll see the Google Street View isn't much older than 2 years. It used to sit there for ages. Most of our Google Street Views are 2023. So they're catching up very fast as well. And then with a click of a button, that you are in your space again to take the process further. Amazing technology. And the youngsters are going to catch on to this very, very quickly. And they're actually going to expect you to meet them there. You have a space like that. Okay. Within the same space, all the AI that's available. Text to speech and text to speech to text and text to text. So firstly, obviously you've got chat functionality where you can type in any of these spaces. But it now can be translated. So I can type in mine. If Lydia was my client and she's on another PC at her house, so I'm English. She sets her language to Afrikaans. Anything I type there will appear in Afrikaans on her side. Anything she types back in Afrikaans will appear in English to me. But also speech to text. This was done as speech to text. So I was on my PC speaking, and immediately it's typing what I'm speaking in English, and then it appears like that on videos. And when you go and look at, I tested it in Afrikaans because that's one way to actually test whether it's accurate, and it's very, very accurate. Okay, so I'm speaking and she's reading. She doesn't know what I'm saying because I'm speaking, she's French or whatever she sets her language to be. So that's already available for us right there, this type of AI. Again, image editing, you can use this for a myriad of functions you can ever even think of. You and a team could become creative there with designs and everything. You can drag any image into this space. This is actually a real photo of one of our listings inside. And then you've got so much you can do with it. You could replace items, you can remove items, you can recolor items, you can reimagine the whole space. You can even just draw a sketch here, a blank canvas, draw a sketch and say, make an image for me of that, etc. I'll show one or two examples. So here I'm using the removal tool. So what I do is I say, please, there is the recolor tool. So I'm saying, what do you want to recolor? The couches. What color do you want to make them? Blue. So I just told it, I want to make the couches blue. It looks at the image and it decides now which is a couch. But it does it correctly and makes them blue. Okay, I mean, then I simply went back to the old image and said, no, I just want the large couch to be grey. And then it does that for me. Some more image editing. This one was now when you have this whole menu down the side. This is the removal tool. So I've got this listing. Maybe I think my buyers are not going to like the wooden table, so I want that gone. So I'm just going to draw a mask around it because we're on the removal tool and say remove the table, and it'll generate an image without the table. Same thing, I can do the replace tool. I don't like that table, but I don't want nothing there. I want to replace it with something. So what did I say here? I said fill it with a Persian rug. Okay. I know my guys are going to like a Persian rug. And then there you go, you've got a Persian rug. Okay. Next thing I said, but who knows, maybe I've got a Japanese buyer and he's big into kois. So I said, fill this, remove the table and fill it with a glass covered koi pond. And there you go. So it's just the technology, I'm just demonstrating the technology, even though it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. Okay, then as you saw in that video, that we've got a chatbot in there as well. So this is our own personal office space that we've created. We create our own chatbot. So my chatbot's name is Lydia. Lydia is very, very clever, as I always say. And this Lydia is almost as intelligent as that Lydia. But the thing here is you can just put a chatbot there and it'll have sort of general, almost ChatGPT functionality that people can chat to anyway. That's great. But you can also feed it with information. So think of this for your business going forward, and people are going to be expecting these type of things. They're instant. They want to go into a space, they want to ask questions about your business. If necessary, they will then revert to you. This is where we're going. So I fed this, let's say my situation, I've got all these videos, so I've got video scripts. I mean, you can just get your video transcribed. So I've got all these video scripts about explanations about 72-hour clauses and footsteps and the whole sale process and stuff like that. So for me, that was good information. Otherwise, you could take information, any information, and feed it in here. So that your chatbot, if it gets asked questions in that direction, it'll be able to answer them. Just as an example, with everything I fed, I asked what does the footsteps mean, and it'll tell you exactly, and this basically comes from my scripts. You've got to scroll down to see the whole answer, and please explain the 72-hour clause, and it goes down, and you can drill down, and that's the information I actually fed my chatbot. So even if it's just about who you are, how you work, anything you think buyers usually ask you, you can feed your chatbot. So this is the type of technology we've got available already, and it's moving fast. So catch-up's going to be difficult, I believe, and we're actually there already. Yeah, so Lydia does a sale. She looks at me like I'm stupid. But another nice thing is, if we ever anywhere, Lydia would have to drag me onto the dance floor. Now I can send her a thing, meet me in the office. Anyway, just a bit of tongue in cheek. Okay, my EXP within your Okta. I want to just show you. So Andrew was speaking about the revenue share system. So once you start introducing agents into EXP, you will start benefiting from the revenue share system. As we explained, half of EXP's revenue that comes from commissions, that 25% will get redistributed back to the agents who are helping to grow the company. Okay, pro rata on how much you got. So in our Okta, we can go into your, once you've got an organization busy building, you can go in there and everything is transparent. You always see exactly who's in your organization. As he was talking about, a 7-tiered structure. You can see what revenue share you're going to get, how much it's going to be every month, how much it was past. So it's all, yeah, very transparent. You can see everything. You can see who's in your group, many levels deep. I'll just show you as an example. So this is our, within my EXP, Lydia's. I'm just the assistant. It all belongs to Lydia. So here you will, for instance, see that at this stage we have 186 agents in our, we call it our organization, our group, however you want to call it. So what that really means is on level 1, we've got 25 agents. Those are agents that we personally introduced into EXP. We're passionate about EXP. I mean, every day we get more and more convinced we've got to tell people about EXP. So, okay, we've introduced 25 agents personally. Those 25 also saw the light and they've introduced 57. Those 57 have, on their turn, introduced 35. So from here on downwards, most of the agents we don't even know. But when they sell something, EXP gets 25% of the commission, and a portion of that will go to us on the various levels. You can go into any one of the levels and you'll see exactly who those agents are. You can even see their contact details, etc. On the right, you will see revenue share. So if a transaction registers today for a guy there in level 3, I'm going to get my little portion of it. And so this keeps building up day by day by day until the 20th or the 22nd of every month, it gets paid out. Then it's the last paid. If you go in there, then you can see every single month. And this is very, very real. As Andrew was saying, you can do calculations on a certain amount per month, which it averages out as per agent. And this has started. We are fairly successful agents commission-wise. We feed our family, etc. We're not the top agents in South Africa, but this revenue share has now started doing this. And it will surpass our commission income within the next 4 to 5 months, we predict. This just keeps growing. We keep introducing agents, but they keep introducing. We're already on level 6. It just goes. And this is a willable asset, as was mentioned. So our kids will get this once we're gone. And it's passive. So if we stop selling tomorrow, this will carry on. Then again, Andrew spoke about shares that you get in EXP. I'll say quickly again. I mean, you get given shares for being a productive agent. So every single year when you do your first sale, EXP will give you first sale 2,000 rands worth of shares on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange where they're listed. Every time you cap in a year, you will get 4,000 rands worth of shares on the EXP Stock Exchange. If you introduce an agent into EXP, their first sale, not every year for them, but their first sale, you'll get 4,000 rands worth of shares on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. As mentioned, those shares vest for 3 years, so that's a retention tool. So whatever happens this month, 3 years later, you'll actually be able to sell them. But you will see them, everything transparently in your Okta dashboard. Okay, so, and then as you saw when I did the commission thing at the bottom, we chose to also buy shares with every commission. So EXP takes 5% of our commission, goes and buys shares at a 5% discount on whatever the share price is then. But again, this whole system is administered by Morgan Stanley in America, a reputable company, and you can log in and at any time see what your shares are. I'm not going to run too much through this, but you'll see you'll have a certain amount of available shares. That is obviously any shares that you bought with your commission. That's yours, you bought it. So you could sell it at any time. What else will be available is anything that was given to you by EXP, which has already vested for 3 years, that then moves. Anything that's unavailable, those are the shares that are busy vesting. And so once it becomes 3 years, that specific one will move to the available. But anyway, transparency, and these systems track 90,000 agents and growing. The forecast is 1 million agents in 10 years, I think. And the technology is quite amazing and transparent. And just to say, I mean, lots of systems one uses in your general everyday business, but for us, they, once again, in our Opta dashboard. So, for instance, Lightstone, I haven't got another slide on it. You all know Lightstone, where you can get your property reports, but we access it right here from our dashboard, and in we go. The virtual agent. So if you want to access a person, you've got his ID number from Lightstone, you want to get his contact details, go to the virtual agent. They are a much more powerful system, but the main thing is, from EXP's perspective, is our subscription to the virtual agent includes for every single agent 63 owner credits per day. So we can search 60 owners per day. It's all included in our 900 Rand EXP monthly fee. Snapit, I think Andrew touched on Snapit just now. Look, we all know, you know, it's the hush-hush part of the business. You don't tell anybody, sometimes not even your spouse, when you want to advance commission, right? Bridging finance. It's like nobody talks about that because we don't need money. We're all very successful agents. We don't bridge finance. But when you do need to bridge finance, it's quite a rigmarole. You've usually got to approach the company. They send you a document a mile long. You're going to print that out. You're going to sign it. Now you're going to get it to your principal, who's actually on the golf course today, and he'll sign it tomorrow. Except tomorrow he falls ill and he doesn't come to the office. With Snapit, Andrew and the team, Len Sanford and the team, always aligning themselves with technologically advanced companies. Snapit is a bridging company. So every EXP agent, you'll get a Snapit login, and you go in there, either on your cell phone or on the internet, and you can simply say, right, I want to snap my commission. It's just a term because they name Snapit. So you want to advance on the commission. Obviously, we all know you can only advance commission if the deal is final and everything's in place. So you say, I want to do that, and it all just goes through a process, but it's all digital. Andrew will tell you out of experience how quick it is. It's very, very quick. So they go to the attorneys, make sure everything's in place. Andrew gets a bzzzt on his phone. He's busy with one now, probably there. And he looks at the deal, sees that the Snapit have checked everything, and he approves it. There you go. Money in your bank. Very, very fast, very, very efficient. What's also nice, of course, always looking for ways there are for us EXP agents to earn extra streams of revenue. So here again, we have a seller. He needs to advance commission. We know that also happens often. I mean, he's got funds lying, waiting. When the deal registers, he'll be getting that. But he's got to do certificates and things. He might have to replace a part of the roof because it was agreed in the offer to purchase. And he needs to access some of those funds. So you go into your app, you refer him, with his permission, obviously, to Snapit. They take it further. They do that. And then, of course, Kaching, they make money, you get a portion of their profits. So there we go, referral commission. We love this word because we get a lot of it. Okay, DocFox I need to speak about because FICA is getting very, very ugly. Many agents and agencies don't even realize how ugly it already is. And the FICA inspectors are busy issuing millions of rands worth of fines these days. Because we don't realize, you don't just have to get a person's ID and check whether his address looks okay. That's part of the validation. You've got to check politically exposed persons lists. You've got to do media checks. You've got to do terrorist list checks. That is our responsibility. If they come down on you and there's a problem and you haven't done those checks, it's a big problem for us as agents and for the agencies. Now, DocFox is a company, again, been available to everybody, even the financial industry. They will do FICA checks for you. Obviously, at a cost, but included for us in our 900 Rand per month, as always. So while I'm uploading my ID, it will go and validate it at the Department of Home Affairs, do a basic validation. They will come back and say that the proof of address is an acceptable form and of proof of address and the date looks good. But in the background, they are doing media checks on Google. They are checking against all these lists. So once they give the tick that this client's okay, you're okay. And you know the risk is minimal, and there we go. So anyway, I've just included this because it's vital these days. And if you are part of a company and one of your agents messes up, I mean, the company can go down and you've got 5 commissions in the pipeline and you could lose that. That can happen. Okay, very risky. Right, Currencies Direct. They do foreign exchange, as you will hear later on. Fantastic company, but again, technologically, they're advanced. So any customer that you have, if you've got a buyer who wants to buy in South Africa, he's going to need money brought into South Africa. If you've got a seller who's selling and he wants to take the money out. Even if you've got a client who's doing import and export businesses, you will make use of Currencies Direct. So you put them in contact with your client's permission, obviously, and they will take it further. They will give them quotes, and they are very, very competitive, and as you'll hear later on, most often they actually beat the banks for various reasons. But for you, it's just a referral with your client's commission, and so we, as agents, we get access to their partner portal, so we log in there. Now it's our little dashboard. From there, we can refer clients to them with their permission. If that client moves money in or out, whatever the profit Currencies Direct makes of that transaction, you get a referral commission. And this is a lifelong thing. So you have a client today who moves money out the country, then you get referral commission. He's connected to you, this client. And when he brings money back into the country, as happens all the time these days, people are moving out and then 10 years later they're moving back. Then again, you've got an import-export client, as funds are going back and forth, you'll be earning referral commission. All these referral commissions, EXP never takes any part of. Home loans, as mentioned, remember you don't have to use any home loan company. When you're in EXP, you don't have to use any attorney. It's always your choice. You're an independent contractor. But as per usual, they have negotiated very good deals for us with Multinet. 0.5% of every million rand. I mean, that's 5,000 rand per million rand. The 3,000 rand here, that's an extra 15,000 in your pocket. You heard about Brad Neal, there was a 9.5 million rand bond, was 47,000. So you refer the client to Multinet. They've got fantastic consultants. Take care of them. When they buy, you get referral commission. Very quickly as well, I think it's the following week. Lydia has earned referral commission, bond commission, 3 times on one property. Because what happens? She gets buyers going to the property, speaks to them. They don't buy the property, but she gets them pre-approved through our home loan consultant. If later they buy somewhere through another agent, but they still use that property consultant, bond consultant, because they're very happy with their service, you will get the bond commission. So in that manner, she has earned 3 commissions on one property, 1 to that guy who actually bought it, and 2, and this money drops in her account and she doesn't know where it came from. And she phones Amanda, says, what's this for? That was Joe Soap, who you introduced at that stage when he was interested possibly in that property. So again, I mean, the extra income here is significant. But again, and we're aligned with Multinet, they're technologically advanced, and when you log in there, you can see all your bonds as they're processing. You can see this one has been declined at that bank and everything. When it gets paid out, you can download the commission invoice, etc. Okay, now I want to just talk about artificial intelligence in general. As we mentioned, there's so much out there. You get bombarded, because I mean, since ChatGPT came out, I mean, that was just artificial intelligence has been around for a long time, but ChatGPT made it public because it was now suddenly accessible for us to use, and it wasn't only being used on us by companies. But since then, of course, everybody's on the bandwagon, and there is a lot of good artificial intelligence out there for anything you can think of. But it all costs money. Hey? It's all $10, $20 a month. I want to just show to you that if you're not using ChatGPT yet, this will be your best friend ever in the real estate business. For content creation, for a myriad of things. I'm using that word a lot today. Myriad. It's like a pyramid. Okay, so I'm just going to do a very quick run through. What you're going to know about ChatGPT is a 2-year-old can use ChatGPT. My son who's 15 years old, he uses it every day, and the worst is he uses it in Afrikaans. I see all his searches because he uses my account. And they abrupt, they're impolite, these 15-year-olds. You know, ChatGPT is just like, do this, no shorter, no longer. Now I'm only 15, change it in Afrikaans. And it's fantastic. But a 2-year-old can use this. What you need to know, people try to sell you ChatGPT functionality, and they say, oh, we've got all the prompts you need. Prompt is what you ask ChatGPT. So if you use this prompt, it's going to give you the perfect result. And it's true, but the thing is, why are they doing that? Because they want to start charging you money, because they're now going to give you a book full of prompts for everything you ever thought possible. I want to show you that the main thing about ChatGPT is it's ChatGPT. You must learn to speak to ChatGPT like you would your social media manager if you had one, your personal assistant if you had one. So you ask them to do something, you get the result. Yeah, it's not quite what I thought I wanted. Maybe just change that a bit, or shorten it, or do this, or write it in a different style. Whatever you're asking of that person as you would in real life, you do with ChatGPT. Obviously, later on, as you would with a personal assistant, you get to understand each other, so you get to know to ask it better the first time. But it's still also quick even while you're busy learning. So we can do a couple of examples. Firstly, I just want to say, if you don't know ChatGPT, I know many people are using ChatGPT, some possibly even better than I do. Make sure you go to the right places. Always chat.openai or openai.com, because that's the original. If you go in the App Store on your phone and you're looking for ChatGPT, you're going to get lots of rip-offs, because they can actually plug into ChatGPT and use ChatGPT, but then they now want to, after you start using it and they see you using it, now they suddenly want to start charging you money. So ChatGPT is free up to a certain point. There's a lot that you can do with the free version. A lot. And these days, they give you access every single day to the Pro version as well, but just for a limited certain number of times. And then it'll tell you, okay, Pro version has stopped. It'll only be available again tomorrow morning at 2 for you. But then you carry on. It's just, the free version just doesn't access the most recent data, etc. But like for us, for instance, if you want to create content on topics in the real estate environment, you can do a lot with the free version. But I'm also going to show you, I use the Pro version, which is $20 a month. And once you've used the free version long enough, and you've seen the functionality and how much it can help your business, you will realize that that $20 or 360 Rand a month is the best money you'll ever spend. Okay, I'm going to go a couple of examples. So what I'm trying to show you again is this is now not a good prompt. Prompt is what you ask it to do for you. It's very general, but I want to show you that by chatting to it, you improve and you get what you want. So here I said, okay, I'm a real estate agent, and I want you to create 60 posts that I can post on social media. So it's going to do a good job of that. You'll see there it goes. Okay, it's going to go faster and faster. So it's giving you a whole lot of topics that you could use on social media. Okay, but this is very simplistic, actually, right? So once it's done, I've gone through the list and I say, oh yeah, that's not quite, as I say, you chat now. That's not quite what I wanted. I was actually looking more for topics aimed, let's say, owners or sellers in the area. I really want to get to them. I want the seller leads. Okay, so it changes it, and it'll go more into what would interest the seller. Just a chat. Remember, I'm not trying to show you a recipe for anything here. It's just to show you whatever you want done, you can get it done. Once it's given me all those topics, now I say, okay, hey, that's nice. Yeah, I like these. Can you take all those topics, put them in one column? Just add my contact details as well, so I don't have to do that manually later, and then I copy and paste, and give me a couple of hashtags for each one. And then give me 3 possible images that you would suggest I use for that post. And there it goes in the table, right? Just because that's what I asked it to do. So now it's giving me that, all those posts with hashtags, and with 3 potential images for each post. So you could use that now. You can take any one of those now and say, yeah, I really like that one. Why don't you create a 500-word newsletter for me that I can send to my database? Of course, always check the information that comes back. It must be accurate, but it usually is. Okay. Now, how's about this? I took one of those topics. The topic that it gave me was summer selling tips, make your home stand out during the hottest month. That's what it gave me, right? And then it gave me 3 image suggestions. So now I say, okay, we'll take that one. Can you create me 3 images? Yes. And if you look at the bottom, when it gave me that, the 3 columns with the 3 images were, one is a bright summery home exterior, the other is a backyard with a swimming pool, and the last one is probably a bright room I can't see there. And it created those. The best is, if you put that same instruction right now into ChatGPT, it's going to give you 3 different ones. Because it uses DALL-E to create these images, which is owned by OpenAI, and you're allowed to use those images. These are not your images. Not one will be the same. Just an example of another one. So this one was about home staging on a budget, and it gave me 3 images. I said, well, create those images for me, and then it was. The first suggestion was a living room and then a bedroom with neutral colors and stylish bedding, and it creates those images. I can use those images, they're now mine. Very powerful. All I'm trying to show you, don't necessarily do that. Do whatever you want and chat it through. Okay. So I've got an example, a stupid example. It's really just an example. Excel file that I've got. I want to do certain things in this Excel file and I don't know how. I can go and Google formulas. This is simplistic. You can make it very complicated. So I took this one, I uploaded it into ChatGPT and said I want those names, I want split into 2 columns. So that's Andre Forster, name and surname. I want the cell number not to say +27 because wherever I'm going to use it doesn't accept that format. I wanted to say 082. And then I said, okay, so I've got a couple of agents, fictitious. It's Andrew and Harley, all our management team. So let's just say in the last year, I listed 36 properties and I sold 9. And so I've got these figures for you guys. Okay, it's just a, now I'm going to ask it. So I drag that into ChatGPT. That is exactly the Excel file if you scroll along. And I want that as a percentage of that. And I want that split and I want that to say 082. That's exactly what I said there. Please do that for me. Within a second, it does. I would going to have to search for these formulas and find out the functionality, and you could have a spreadsheet, who knows how big, with how many things you want done. You ask ChatGPT, it'll do it for you. There we go, it's split, the numbers are changed, that is expressed as a percentage of that, etc. And then you can download it again as an Excel. Amazing. You can do this in Word, you can do this whatever. Right. Okay, this was just an example of I wanted to create a WhatsApp channel. We've got obviously WhatsApp business profiles. WhatsApp channel came on the market. It's a new thing. I was just asking about the advantages, how I could create it, what would work for an estate agent. So I'm not going to go into it, but it's just another example of chatting and carrying on until I get what I want. Another example. Okay, these are the pro. This is the pro version, but nevertheless, just see the potential here. So I went to the PPRA website. I downloaded the code of conduct off there and I downloaded the Property Practitioners Act. I dragged it into ChatGPT because I wanted to ask it a question, but I dragged it in before asking the question, so immediately it even says, oh, I see you've uploaded the Property Practitioners Act, number so and so, and its associated code of conduct. How can I assist you, etc., etc. But okay, I had a question I wanted to ask it, just for demonstration. I said, I have discovered a crack behind a couch in one of my listings. The seller did not declare that in his property condition report. What should I do as an agent? It's going to tell me exactly what I should do and how I should disclose it, refers to the property condition, up to the code of conduct, etc., etc., tells you what you should do, gives you tips, saying document everything, make sure you keep records of your communication, etc., to keep your side clean. This is what ChatGPT does for you. So just as an example now, I said, okay, great, so I'm going to do all this. Right, so let's inform the seller. So I said to ChatGPT, based on 2, which you said is inform the seller, and 5, which is make sure you document everything. I said, why don't you, based on that, can you draft a professional but friendly email that I can send to the seller? I could sit all day writing this email. How am I going to tell the seller this, and he's not going to be upset with me? And ChatGPT does it so diplomatically. And it's fantastic, right? Stupid example again. I'm selling my brother's house. Do I have to mention that to buyers? Do I have to declare that? Any interest or whatever? same type of thing. We'll tell you exactly what to do, where it gets from. This is an example. So you could feed any information in here and say, now what do I do? Right? I mean, if you want to know something about building regulations, you get those building regulations, feed it into ChatGPT, say, is a guy allowed to do this over there or whatever? Just think of the potential. I'm not going to go into too many examples, but here's another example, agent biography. We all need agent biographies. Very important that it looks professional. This is the thing, when you start real estate, you quickly type it out, I'm Joe and I do this and I've been to school and all this type of thing. And then there it sits forever usually. Okay, it's not a very attractive, so it's the first point of call. That's what people find when they look for you on the internet. Your biography on Facebook, your biography on your website. You can go into ChatGPT and type, I am this and I am that and this is what I've done. Can you improve it and write it more attractively? And there again, you're going to spend a lot of time, right? Or, as you're going to see in the next two examples, if you don't quite know what you're going to do or what you must tell ChatGPT, then ask ChatGPT to ask you questions so that it can help you. All right. Sounds very weird, but here we go. So instead of me trying to tell ChatGPT what I want on my biography, I say, okay, well, I'm a real estate agent in South Africa. I want to create a biography. Please assume the role of a professional copywriter and ask me any questions you need answered so that you can create a professional and engaging biography. Then it'll give you a whole lot of questions. It knows what to ask you so that it will create a personal biography. It will ask you about your hobbies, your background, everything. Answer those correctly, then it'll write it in a beautiful, presentable manner, but it'll be yours and it's not generic. Same with listing descriptions. You can go and feed it in there and say improve it, make it more catchy, do whatever. Another one is just tell it to assume the role, ask me questions you want about my listing, so you can do this for any listing. It'll ask you everything you like, is it what's nearby, what's this, what are the rooms like, etc. So you answer those questions and it'll give an accurate but attractive listing description. Right, again, phenomenal technology. This is where we're at now. Upload a photo into ChatGPT. Say, please describe this room in Bloberg without describing the furniture. That's just a trick I learned because otherwise it's going to sell the cane furniture and it tells me exactly what it looks like. Now ChatGPT, this is AI. Looks at this image like me and you are looking at it. I don't know how really. I mean, I don't. And then it describes that image. That is all I said. I said it's a room in Bloberg. And it describes the room. And it talks about Table Mountain in the Atlantic Ocean and the bright and light, airy feel and the nautical accents in the room and all these type of things. But the next step is upload 10 images and ask it to create a listing description. And it's accurate. Always double check, but it's accurate. So it's not making generic things that looks the same for every single property. Okay. There's the listing description based on those 10 photos. So there's a myriad of ways, again, a myriad of ways you can use ChatGPT. Just start talking to it, think what you need in your business. I mean, we can send you this list, that's just a couple of ideas how you can use it in your business. It's amazing. Then there are, once you're using ChatGPT and you're mastering it, and now you're creating content of all sorts, now you might know what else you might need with AI. Then you can go start looking at the next options and video creation and all these type of things. I mean, and there's lots of them, but they cost you money. So if you get lost in the beginning, you're just going to be throwing money in the water. And the AI is amazing. I mean, you can go into Synthesia there, and they will take a studio video of you. That's where we are. It's going to cost you a lot of money at this stage. They'll take a studio video of you speaking. Then tomorrow you can upload any script to them, and within seconds there's a video of you speaking again, but that video script. You don't even have to record the video. That's where AI is heading. So we mustn't get left behind. That's the big thing. And if you stay up to it with ChatGPT, that's the original, and they'll always be advancing. That can change your business. So early bird catches the worm, and for us agents, that means the early adopters will reap the rewards. And as I always say, agents will not be replaced by this technology, but we will be replaced by the other agents that use this technology if you are not using this. Thank you for listening to me. I hope that was of some help.